Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us here at Red 5 Studios at Gamescom. We're very excited to have you here. Thank you for tuning in to hear about Firefall.
Tell us about Firefall.
Firefall is an online MMO FPS. It's made by a company called Red 5 Studios. We are in Southern California and we are made up of a bunch of hardcore gamers. Back in 2006 we circled up and we're playing a lot of shooters, playing a lot of games. And we really wanted to build the future of online shooters. And we started with the core of the game being a high-action combat system that's class-based, and we added to it elements that we'd come to really love and appreciate from other genres, from RPGs, from RTSs, from MMOs, and really designed and built out Firefall. So Firefall, in a nutshell, is a massively persistent open-world shooter with character customization. We're class-based, and our classes are defined by the equipment that you wear, your battle frame. And you can switch this at any point in time. So if you and I are playing together, I can change to my Dragonfly if I want to actually be healing you. I have healing plasma and other abilities that allow me to actually keep you alive and in the battle. Or if I'm by myself, I might want to change to my Assault battle frame, which is a really aggressive offensive soldier. I can go into the battle, do a lot of splash damage, really destroy a lot of enemies while staying alive myself. But it really is designed to allow you to customize your battle frames. You can change out your weapons, your abilities, even your plating and your jump jets and your servos and all of these things to really customize each of these classes to your playstyle. In addition to a massive persistent open world that's shared with hundreds of other players, we have a competitive PvP side of the game where you can take your battle frames as stock gear. So if you've unlocked certain battle frames, you can now use those in a stock gear competitive manner in some of our various PvP match types and maps. And then coming soon, our next big phase for the game will be introducing open world PvP.
So you have the beta running for some time now?
Yep, we've been in closed beta for, I don't know, a year and a half. And just this last month, in July, we went to open beta, so now anyone can come and download the game and play it. And that's been really fantastic because we've actually we've seen people log in from over 100 countries, all over the world. People have connected to our servers and have been playing the game. And it's really exciting to see people give feedback and to help us iterate on the design of the game and make things better. Stage 1, open beta in July, was really all about stability and putting stress on our servers, so we wanted to scale up the number of users to really see how our architecture and our backend could handle it. And we've spent a lot of time this last month really focusing on performance improvements, stability improvements, things like that. We're also about ready to move into stage 2 of open beta. And stage 2 is actually, this is something that we're talking about quite a bit here at Gamescom. Our open beta stage 2 plan is really to jump into one of the core design elements of the game that we've had since the beginning, and that is giving players the experience and the opportunity to actually reclaim Earth, unlock the world. So the story of Firefall is we're on Earth, it's a future Earth. A catastrophic event has led to this aggressive energy storm called the melding, arriving on Earth and engulfing nearly all the planet. Out of the melding has emerged this alien race called the Chosen. And they are extremely aggressive. They have been attacking humans and trying to annihilate mankind. So this is our chance to unite and to fight back the melding, to fight back the Chosen, and to reclaim Earth. So in stage 2, we're actually going to be giving players the first opportunity to really make that happen. The Accord military, the military will be issuing build commands, build requirements, build requests for players to go out and start building the technology around the world to repulse the melding. Now these are global user base events, so people from all over the world will contribute to helping to build these repulsors. But as soon as we build the melding repulsor, we'll actually push back the melding, exposing a much greater part of the warfront or the new zone.
What if they fail to build them?
The Chosen will continue to attack. We really want players to be in charge of evolving the world. And so our whole team, development team, will pay close attention to, if that happens, the story will change. Right? The players will impact the story of the world. And really my hope is, my dream is that many years down the road, we'll have new players join that have all of these big war fronts unlocked, all these big zones unlocked, and there's a history. And the players who were here could tell the story of back in my day, when this area was so small, now we've pushed it back and expanded the world. to really celebrate the veterans of the world, the heroes, the people who fought hard, worked hard to push back the chosen, and open up the world. We'll actually have golden statues erected for the top heroes in towns that will be there forever and ever. So generations of players will be able to come back and see, relive the story, the tale of how this city was built and established. We'll also have a plaque that showcases the players, other players who helped contribute, some of the top players, to kind of memorialize their efforts in the past.
Do you have any framework for the official out of beta peak, or still?
No, we're very much focused. We have monetization of the game, and every person in the world can play the game.
Yeah.
So we're very focused on continuing to finish out the content and the features that we think are critical for the game to be officially released. But sometime next year we'll probably get out of beta and actually launch the game. Our release plan is really to think about stages. So stage 1 was about stress testing our servers and stability and some of the core mechanics. Stage 2 is about reclaiming Earth, unlocking the world.
So everything that people do now, it will stay in the final version.
Yep.
And can you speak a little bit about the business model of the game?
Sure. So we're a free-to-play game, and it's great to see where the industry has gone with free-to-play in the last couple of years. When we announced Firefall in 2010, it was still very early for North America and Europe. The free-to-play model had been around for maybe 7 years in Asia, but it was pretty new to the more Western market. And it was a hard decision at the time, but we really wanted to make Firefall accessible to people. We really think that the game is so much more fun when you play with your friends. And so one of the biggest barriers that we wanted to remove was to make the game free. So you didn't have to convince your friend to go pay money and buy the game, you just had to convince them to click a link and download it. So our philosophy has always been build a fun game first and foremost. That's the most important thing. Because we think if it's fun and engaging, people will come and play the game. They'll continue to play the game. And if people are playing the game, they're going to be that much more interested and willing to spend money on the game. The number one policy for us as a team is that we will not sell power. We are a skill-based game. We don't want people who are willing to spend money to just be able to dominate, to have things that other players can't get for free. So we're very focused on convenience items, cosmetic items, things that save you time. Maybe you're busy working a full-time job and you don't mind paying a little money to speed things up. We'll let you do that. We want to sell products, monetization products that make you feel really good as a player who wants to spend money, gives you things you're proud of and excited to have, while also being fair to the players who don't want to spend money. And so we're introducing next week, we're introducing 2 new products, VIP membership, which we're very excited about. Players have been asking for additional crafting slots, manufacturing slots, additional slots for being able to sell items to other players, things like that. So we have a nice bundle of goodies and boosts and perks for players who want to be a VIP. And to make it easy for players, we're not requiring a monthly renewable subscription. It's you buy a membership for 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, a month, whatever you want, whatever works for you. The second product that we're introducing next week is a vending machine. It's basically a slot machine. You put a coin in, you pull the arm, ding, 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 you unlock some cool things. There's a chance at unlocking some ultra rare items, epic items that might be an entirely new visual loadout for your battle frame. You can change your skin so you look completely different. Other helmets, special war paints, so you can color your battle frames differently, and things like that, pets, vehicles. And of course, if you are a non-paying player, if you don't want to spend money, you can still earn tokens in-game. The premium ones you can buy, and they have a better chance of giving you an epic item, an ultra rare item.
So, for the new players that haven't played the game, why should they play?
We are doing some really new things for Firefall. A lot of players, and this is stuff people have told me, they're kind of tired of the traditional MMORPGs, the fantasy worlds, the traditional classes, the traditional combat system, the traditional content. Players they've done enough quest hubs where you go up to a city and there are exclamation marks and get quests and go out and do them. They want something different, they want something fresh, they want something exciting. And that's exactly what led us to want to make Firefall. We wanted a game that was completely different. So starting with it being a shooter from the ground up, a core combat experience that's built around your gun in this beautiful, massive world. Movement is a huge thing for us. So we built jump jets for every battleframe. We have other movement abilities throughout the game. So it just really feels fun gliding through the world, jump jetting up and over rocks, jumping up cliff sides. But how we think about our content is distinct from any other MMO that I'm aware of, in that we don't build these quest hubs with exclamation marks and quests that you play through in an hour and then you never ever go back to that city. Instead, we're building a world that's dynamic and that you're encouraged and incentivized to reuse all of the geography that you've unlocked, to go back to zones that you started in, to go to new places, so that as the world grows, your availability of content continues to expand with the world. Our encounters are dynamic, and they can be spawned anywhere in the world, and based on where they're spawned, you might have different rewards, you might have different creatures, there might be different objectives, things change in interesting ways. It's a design goal for our tools and for our design team to also have our encounters have interesting interactions with other encounters. So for example, one of our favorite dynamic encounters is a melding tornado. It will spawn in the melding and actually come out into the world and just start wreaking havoc on players and start really creating doing a lot of damage and whatnot. And it requires probably a good 10 plus people to destroy. While it's moving through the world, it actually is, our AI has it be slightly attracted to thumpers. Now, a thumper is an on-demand encounter that players can trigger that allows them to collect or harvest resources from underneath the ground. But the idea is that a melding tornado can actually run into the thumper and possibly launch it way up into the air and then spawn a new dynamic encounter somewhere else that's a broken thumper, where players have to go and collect the parts and bring it back to the thumper to repair. That's the idea behind the content that we're building. We're also building our mission system to pull from a dynamic background where it can actually spawn different creatures, different enemies, different objectives, use different voiceovers so the story is different, it tells you a different part of the world lore while you're playing through this encounter space. We even have mutators, so sometimes you go into the space, there might be a random mini-boss, there might be a special treasure chest, there might be elite enemies, and so that's a huge reason why you would play Firefall. We're building a sandbox experience. We're building this massive world with lots of toys to play with in interesting ways, and a lot of very important social features that bring players together to have a lot of fun in the same space.
So to sum up, it's an epic game, go play it.
Epic game, go play it. Bring it on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. If you're interested in checking out the game, please, it's firefallthegame.com. And you can download it today and play for free. Thank you. Rock and roll. How do you say hello and welcome in Bulgarian?
Здравейте.
Здравейте?
Здравейте is hello, and welcome is добре дошли.
Well, that's hard. Здравейте?
You can say just здравейте. Здравейте.
Здравейте.
Здравейте.
Здравейте. Never mind.
It's close enough. You can say здравейте.
I don't have it. Zdravейте? Nah.
Okay,
Sorry.